Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Digest This podcast. I'm your host, Bethany Cameron, and today's bite of knowledge is more so just about me sharing my non-negotiables, because on Instagram, I do get asked, what can I not do without every single day or every week? Because some things I can't do without per week and some things I can't go a day without. So I'm going to share some of my top things that every single day I do, I consume, I have to have, and all that good stuff. And I'm sure I'm going to miss a bunch because, I really had to think about this going into it. I had to write some things down, but even so, I feel like we're all guilty of just getting in the habit of things, and you do things without even thinking about it. So just keep that in mind, that I know I'm going to miss tons of things that I just naturally do, and I just don't even have to think about. So trying to think about my non-negotiables was really, really hard, but I'm going to do my best to share what I cannot do without. And so I hope you enjoy it. Let's get right into it. All right, you guys. So I have been making these special gummies, and I have to give you the recipe. So get a pen and write this down. These gummies are so addicting, and all you need are 3 main ingredients. They're not only good for the gut, but they can also help aid in hair growth, immune function, skin health, and they taste like a creamy ice cream pop you literally can just pop in your mouth. And all this is from the colostrum I add. So if you haven't guessed by now, these are creamy colostrum milk gummies that literally are like a pillow in your mouth. You can add a touch of honey if you want, or keep them 100% sugar-free for all my keto and low-carb friends. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about Armor Colostrum over and over by now, and for good reason. It's been clinically shown to help guard against inflammation and everyday toxins and pollutants. Colostrum intake has also been linked to fewer respiratory tract and GI infections in children and adults. In fact, there are over 5,000 published studies documenting the benefits of colostrum and its ability to optimize health from when we are born all the way through our elder years. But Armor Colostrum is different from others on the market, and it's something I started taking back in March 2023, long before all the hype. They use a proprietary cold chain biopotent technology that distills over 200 functional nutrients, guaranteeing the highest bioactive integrity and bioavailability. Another thing I personally love about this company is that they only use the excess colostrum from grass-fed, pasture-raised, happy cows that are no longer needing it to supply their young. So you know you're not taking away from animals that need it. Only the surplus colostrum is used, and Armra makes sure they are getting only the best from healthy USA cows from family farms. Okay, so here's the creamy colostrum gummy recipe. Just get 2 tablespoons of grass-fed gelatin, 1 cup of your milk of choice, dairy or non-dairy, 1 tablespoon of honey, which is optional, and 1 tablespoon of Armor Colostrum's unflavored grass-fed colostrum. And you can save 20% if you use code DIGEST at checkout on their website. It's tryarmra.com. Again, that's code DIGEST, and that will save you 20%. So what you're going to do with the ingredients is, first you're going to pour the milk into a small saucepan, sprinkle the gelatin over the top, and allow it to bloom for 5 minutes. If you're using honey, you're going to add that now, and then you're also going to add Armor Colostrum to the pan. You're going to bring it to a medium heat while whisking. Just be sure not to boil it, just a medium heat. Now, once the milk is slightly warmed and everything is dissolved, just remove the pan from the heat and pour into any mold of choice or a glass dish. Then place the dish or the molds into the fridge for at least 2 hours or until set. Once set, just pop the gummies out into an airtight container, and then you're just going to return it to the fridge to store it. If you are using one large dish, then you can cut them into squares or whatever shape you prefer. If you haven't tried Armor Colostrum by now, Here's your chance. You can save 20%. Just go to tryarmra.com and use code DIGEST to receive a special discount for my podcast listeners. That's tryarmra.com and use code DIGEST. Again, that's tryarmra.com and use code DIGEST at checkout. CBD has been clinically shown to encourage balanced gut health and immune function and can help ease discomfort associated with digestive problems. In fact, a study in the NIH notes that one promising effect of internal CBD use is, and I quote, the activation of cannabinoid receptors in the gut, which not only suppresses many of the IBD-related symptoms such as diarrhea and visceral hypersensitivity, but also inhibits the inflammatory reaction, end quote. Additional studies share that CBD can inhibit inflammation, aid in patients with IBD, modulate intestinal barrier functions, help decrease intestinal secretions, as well as help with headaches. So you may or may not know this, but I have certainly tried and tested my fair share of CBD products dating all the way back to 2017, long before CBD was even talked about. And it was one of the natural remedies my holistic doctor encouraged me to take while I was going through my severe gut issues. And till this day, I still keep CBD in my bag of tricks for gut health and to help keep inflammation at bay. So how do you choose the right CBD for gut health? Because, well, in this dynamic world of CBD, knowing which product and type to choose can be a little overwhelming. However, the form and spectrum of CBD can significantly influence its benefits, especially when it comes to digestive health. CB Distillery is a company I have grown to love for their full transparency, USA-grown hemp that is rigorously tested, and I just love that they display the most recent third-party tests on their website for anyone to view. They are not ashamed to share their results with nothing to hide. I personally recommend trying their distilled full spectrum CBD tincture, which contains just 2 simple ingredients: coconut MCT oil as the carrier and their full spectrum extract. That is it. CB Distillery also offers a 60-day money-back guarantee, which means you can use and try their CBD for a full 2 months. And if for whatever reason you're not satisfied, they will give you your money back. Guys, this is like a no-brainer. And on top of that, they offer my listeners a whopping 25% off your entire order. Just use code DIGEST at checkout to get 25% off and try it risk-free for 60 days. Go to thecbdistillery.com and use code DIGEST. That's THECBDISTILLERY.com and use code DIGEST. I'll also include that link in today's show notes so you can simply just go there with one easy tap. And speaking from experience, when your gut is inflamed, there's pretty much nothing you won't try. I hope you guys love it just as much as I do. Okay, so I do want to start out by saying take everything with a grain of salt because I am not perfect. And obviously, I do miss things certain days, but I do try my best. For example, supplements. Let's just say I do my absolute best to take my supplements, but some days I just don't. And some days, I'll be honest, like I don't want to take any supplements. Sometimes I will take like a week break from supplements just in general because I just want to give my body some time to just take in the nutrients that I'm getting from food. All that to say, I'm a huge believer in supplements because I think that we are missing so many nutrients that used to be in our food that are not anymore, just from the soil being depleted, from just our food in general, just not having as much nutrients that it did 100, 200 years ago. And where our ancestors, they got everything from food, which I love. But it's just not the same today just because of, like I mentioned, just depletion of the earth. And we're just not getting all the minerals that were once here. So Again, all that to say, I do my best. I am not perfect by like no means at all, but I think we're all just trying to do our best. So I also want to know what your non-negotiables are. So if you're watching this on YouTube, which by the way, I am on YouTube now, so you can find me, Little Sipper, there, and we do post the podcast on there so you can listen to it. Tell me in the comments or shoot me a DM on Instagram and let me know what are your non-negotiables, because maybe I need to take up some of your habits and routines because I'm always looking to improve. So if you have something and you're like, I cannot do without this thing, or I cannot go without this habit or routine every single day or every week, tell me in the comments because I want to know. All right. So for me, first thing, waking up, I have to tongue scrape. That is like, it's pretty a non-negotiable. In fact, I had Mark ask the dentist on, I think it was like last year, he was a guest on the podcast. And we were talking about tongue scraping. And he said that tongue scraping can even help reduce cholesterol in a person. Isn't that crazy? So anyways, I just feel after I tongue scrape, my mouth feels so much better. And I do this prior to brushing my teeth. So I tongue scrape and then I brush my teeth. I use Bite toothpaste to brush my teeth. I have been using them for 2 years. This is not an ad for Bite, though I am a partner with them. I literally just genuinely love Bite toothpaste bits. And that goes for every brand and partnership that, like, if I am talking about a product, I genuinely love it. And that's why I partner with them, because I personally love and use the items, including Bite. So Bite toothpaste, love it. I alternate. My husband and I are on a charcoal kick right now. So we do the charcoal bits, but they have other non-charcoal items that are fluoride free. So we alternate. We do that. I wake up at like 5 a.m., sometimes 4:30 in the morning. I get a really early start. So my husband is still sleeping for a few more hours. All that to say is I go to bed a lot earlier than he does too. So we are on a different like time schedule there. So I'll get up. I always recommend to hydrate before you caffeinate. So if you're a coffee drinker or maybe you drink matcha, any kind of caffeinated drink in the morning, even if it's black tea, definitely hydrate with electrolytes before you caffeinate. So that's why I love Element. They are a partner of mine. This is not an ad, but I love it. I use their unflavored personally. It's just 3 ingredients. It has the perfect ratio. It's been science backed. So if you think that you can maybe just make this on your own, their special ratio is formulated just for the magnesium and the potassium, the salt, all that. So I will take 1 pack and I'll put it in a large Stanley that I have, and then I fill it up. And I just make sure that I don't drink the entire Stanley before I have my coffee, but I make sure that I do have some. And then, of course, I monitor my water throughout the day. I make sure that I get in a Stanley. I've been drinking even warm water and lemon throughout the day, just different things. Just be sure also, if you do drink coffee specifically, coffee actually dehydrates you. So for every 1 cup of coffee you drink, you're supposed to drink 3 extra cups of water, in addition to the water you're already supposed to be drinking that day. So keep that in mind too, that if you drink a cup of coffee, you have to drink 3 extra cups of water. So definitely remember to hydrate, especially as it's summertime now and we need more water and we're sweating more. It's just hotter during the day. So regardless, Element, electrolytes, whether you drink coffee or not, so important for your health and overall well-being. It helps you think clearer. It even helps your hormones, believe it or not. If you look up like hormone connection and electrolytes, it's amazing how they affect your hormones, electrolytes, or lack of, should I say. So do that. I think prayer is so important in the morning. It's important any time of the day. And I need to be more regular with that. But just for me, of course, we're always like praying, like asking God for like this, that, and the other. But I really am trying to just have gratitude. Like, don't ask for things, but just be like, okay, like, God, thank you. Thank you for another day that I'm waking up, like that I'm alive here on this earth, that you've granted me this, that, and the other. Thank you that I woke up in a bed. Thank you that I have food in my fridge. Thank you that I have really more than I need. There's so many people out there just living just day to day, wondering what they're going to eat the next meal. I just feel so grateful that, I have, gosh, I have a week's worth of food in my house. Like I wouldn't need to go out grocery shopping. I could just stay in for a week. And I mean, that's luxury if you think about it. I don't know your situation, but really whatever it is, I can guarantee that you have it good. I mean, if you're listening to this podcast right now, you're blessed because you probably have a phone unless you're watching on YouTube. If you have a phone, you're rich. Like, think about it. So all that to say is wake up, pray, and be thankful. Have some gratitude. And it's not wrong to ask for things. The Bible even says, like, we don't have because we don't ask. God wants us to talk to him and ask for things and share what we desire. But I also want what God wants. Me personally, I want what God wants. And the only way to know that is to be in the Word and to know like what his desire is for our lives. So I feel like I'm going on a tangent here, but be thankful in the morning. Washing my face. I have to wash my face in the morning. I cannot go like within the first 10 minutes of waking up and not wash my face. Like maybe I produce extra sweat. I don't even know, but I have to wash my face in the morning. And I ice roll in the morning too, which I have a list in front of me of just like things, non-negotiables daily. And ice rolling, I didn't even put it on there. I just remembered it, right? I do that without even thinking. Ice roll in the morning. It wakes me up. It's almost like an ice bath without jumping in an ice bath. And I don't do that, by the way, but it's like a little ice bath for my face. And I do enjoy that. If you are in a place where there's sunlight, and of course, the time of morning I wake up, the sun is definitely not out yet, but if I can get some sunlight just any time of the day, whether that's at 2 p.m. or even 4 p.m., or 7 a.m., wherever it is, try and get some sunlight because that can really make a difference. Whether it's warm or not, even if it's cold out, but the sun is still out, get those rays. So important, vitamin D. And yes, coffee. That is definitely a non-negotiable. Or sometimes I will not have coffee. I'll do matcha or some sort of hot, warm drink. And I have to have chocolate. I have probably talked about this on my Instagram many times, but I have a big handful of chocolate in the morning, like without fail. It's probably, close to half a cup of chocolate every single morning. And I always get the 100% unsweetened chocolate. So there's no sugar in it. There's no sweeteners, no stevia, no monk fruit, no erythritol, no weird stuff. It's literally one ingredient, unsweetened cacao chocolate. Wow, this is a lot. I didn't even realize how many things I can't go without, but I have to have the chocolate. Also, non-negotiable is I have to poop in the morning. Like if I don't have a good bowel movement in the morning, I just feel gross all day long. I feel bloated. I feel just like weighed down. So I have to have a good bowel movement. And thankfully, my body is on a routine where after I have my morning drink, I do go to the restroom pretty soon afterwards. Maybe the chocolate helps. I think it does. And regardless if it doesn't or doesn't, bowel movement, that's just a non-negotiable. Otherwise, I'm just in a bad mood throughout the day. So if you're not having a bowel movement at least once a day, I feel like that is something to get checked out because we should. In fact, if you're eating 3 meals a day, we should be going 3 times a day. If you're eating 2 meals a day, we should be going 2 times a day. So I personally intermittent fast. Now, I don't do this because like I'm telling myself I'm intermittent fasting. I was doing it long before I even knew I was doing it. if that made sense. I just wasn't hungry in the morning. Yes, I have my drink in the morning. There's like the gelatin, or now I've been adding the Equip Foods protein, the beef protein, amazing in your coffee. But I have my ghee in my drink, which is really good, healthy fats, the protein that I've been adding, like all of that. I just am not hungry until like 11 a.m. So that's typically when I start eating. But if I am hungry earlier than that, I'll definitely eat, but I just typically am not. So I'm not going to force it. And my digestion just feels so much better. So that's typically when I'll make like a smoothie or have some eggs or something like that. If you've ever wondered about the non-toxic air fryers, shampoos and conditioners, organic undies, and new food products on the market, and even some not available to the public yet, and well, you want to get the inside scoop, then you need to join the 20,000 plus people that are already receiving these updates via my Friday Finds newsletter. I share information that only my subscribers get in their inbox. Stuff like non-toxic kitchen appliances, new food finds, product recalls, food news, and even personal care products we all should or should not be using. My Friday Finds newsletter goes out once a week every Friday and has quickly become some of my followers' favorite things to open in their inbox. I've even started to include a recipe in this once a week newsletter. This is not published anywhere else and cannot be found on my blog. So if you're not part of the over 20,000 people that are in the know, be sure you're not left out by going to littlesipper.com/subscribe and enter your email. That's it. It's free. There's no spam, just helpful, insightful content full of goods, literally. So pause this episode and go to LILSIPPER.com/subscribe. That's LILSIPPER.com/subscribe. Protein powder, again, non-negotiable every day. Whether that is the Equip protein, which is beef protein, I get the unflavored, amazing, or my own protein powder, which I love. I love making the fluff. So I'll typically have my protein fluff in the evening time because it's like a dessert and it doesn't make me feel weighed down, and it really helps me get in my protein intake and help me meet my protein goals. So just 2 scoops of my digestive support protein, it, depending on what flavor, is like 16 to 19 grams of plant protein. There's like 0 carbs, 1 or 2 grams, depending again on the flavor. It's amazing. And it's like 90 calories for 17 grams of protein. Like you really can't beat that. And it's like a pudding, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, mix it up. I have mixed some flavors together, which is amazing as well. A little Greek yogurt, so good, just so good in the evening. And it doesn't upset my stomach, doesn't make me feel bloated or like you can't lay down and go to sleep, you know? So, yeah, anyways, I'm like kind of jumping all over the place here. But yogurt is another non-negotiable. Like I have to have my yogurt. I don't know if you're dairy-free or not, but here's the thing about dairy. I have dabbled into the whole raw milk situation. For whatever reason, it doesn't suit me. I don't know, but I can do goat's milk. Goat's milk my body is fine with it. So whatever the case may be, kind of like try it out because I know everyone is on the raw milk and I'm all for raw milk. I'm all for it. I've tried it, but my body reacts to it. I don't break out, my skin doesn't break out, but I do feel like I have a lot of mucus in my stomach. And so that doesn't feel good. So again, you just have to try it out. All that to say is yogurt, because it's cultured, my body, it takes it in differently. And I learned this from my holistic doctor, is that yogurt is, quote, different than dairy. And it's not really considered dairy anymore, like yogurt, labneh, all that. If it is cultured, again. So just keep that in mind. I can do cream. I can do little bits of dairy and like certain types of cheeses, but it can't be like full force cheese and cream, right? Like I've made some keto cookies, and it was like cream, and you just put them in the freezer. They're amazing, but I can have like one or two, but that's it. So I think it's all about proportions too, and not overdoing it with anything. If you have too much of anything, is not a good thing, right? Okay. Now, something I can't do without every single day, and you're going to laugh, but I have to have my sea salt. Like I salt everything. You can ask my husband. I put salt on my smoothies. And if you don't salt your smoothies, oh my goodness, game changer. Also adding like half a pack of Element to your smoothies, so good. I mean, it just changes everything. I have to have salt. Salt on my avocado, salt on my eggs, salt on my smoothies, salt on it all. And my husband laughs at me because like we'll sit at the dining table and like we both have our places that we sit. We typically sit in the same spot, right? Like he has his chair, I have my chair, and like we always sit in the same spot. So underneath my spot, like on the floor, there's a bunch of salt like just everywhere. And he jokes with me and he's like, "Oh my gosh, like you're so messy with all the salt that you're putting on your food all the time," because I'm always on him about like whatever being messy in other areas, but the salt, that's where he gets me. And I'm guilty. I'm guilty of salting everything. So, but as long as you're getting the right type of salt, like sea salt, as opposed to the bad salt, which we're not supposed to have, the iodized salt, that's not good for us. But sea salt, don't be scared of it. Salt it up, okay? Good quality sea salt. Can't live without it. Okay, I could, but I just have it. I have to have it. All right, now looking at my list here. Now, these are not daily non-negotiables, but I have to have them. I feel like I have to have them. Like one is I have to get my nails done. And this is definitely elective. Like all this is elective, right? But I feel like sometimes I'm pretty low maintenance. I am. But sometimes to be low maintenance, you have to be high maintenance in certain areas. My nails, for example. If I get my nails done, then I don't have to worry about them for like a month, right? And so for me, that's being low maintenance, is being like getting them like maybe every 3 weeks. My nails grow so fast, even every 2 weeks. Like it's ridiculous how fast they grow. I think it's all the collagen I take. But anyways, that's a side note. My nails grow fast. But I feel like getting your nails done is really being low maintenance, because then you just like don't have to worry about it and go out throughout your day, your week, and you just don't even have to maintain them. So for me, that's helpful. Grocery shopping, I feel like that's a non-negotiable for me, like weekly. Even if I don't buy anything or like buy a huge grocery haul, just going to the grocery store is, for whatever reason, super therapeutic. You guys probably watch my Instagram stories. I'm always storing about what I find in the grocery stores. And it's fun. Like I will go to the grocery store, and there has been several times where I don't even buy a thing. I just like looking, which is really hard to do, to walk out of a grocery store and not buy a thing. But it's been done. So I'll do that. My liver caps. Now, as mentioned at the beginning of the episode, I don't take liver capsules every single day. And the ones I take are from Equip Foods. Again, if you want 20% off, you can use the code DIGEST. And that'll get you 20% off their Equip Foods beef protein, their liver caps, their collagen, all that good stuff. So use code DIGEST. They have liver caps, and they also have organ capsules. So I don't take them every day. I feel like maybe every other day is sufficient enough for me. And that's just another tip too, to save some money, is like, you can kind of stretch a bottle by doing it every other day or alternating. I feel like that's totally fine. Yeah. So just think of it that way. Like that's just in general. There's so many like health products out there. I know I'm going on a tangent here, but I have to say it. Don't feel like you have to do it every single day. Yes, there's certain things that you will see benefits if you do it consistently every single day, but I feel like consistency is better than doing it for like a week straight and then stopping versus like every other day consistently for a month, if that makes sense. So just keep that in mind too. Like you don't have to get the benefits. You don't have to eat fish every day to get the benefits of fish, like 1 to 2 times a week, and you're going to get great benefits, right? That's how I feel like with a lot of things. Like you're going to get the benefits of it if you're consistent with it. It doesn't have to be every day though. So just consistency. I think that's the key here. Now, I know I'm missing so many other things that, again, I just can't think of, but these are some non-negotiables for me. So save this episode. You can re-listen to it. And hopefully it was helpful to you and just kind of give you a little bit of insight and really think about what your non-negotiables are and really what you can live without. And maybe that'll be another episode, like things that I could live without, or maybe I'll challenge myself to like quit something for a while and then see what happens. So anyways, I thought I would share, and I hope this bite of knowledge on this Monday was fun and insightful. So I'll see you guys this Wednesday for an episode that is, okay, I can't even share it, but just stay tuned. This Wednesday, killer interview. Thanks for listening to this episode of Digest This. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review in your podcast app to let us know. If you're ever wondering how you can support me and this podcast, sharing it with your friends and family is the best way. This is a Resonant Media production produced by Drake Peterson and edited by Mike Fry. To email the show, message us at digestthispod@gmail.com. See you next time. The content of this show is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for individual medical and mental health advice and does not constitute a provider-patient relationship. As always, talk to your doctor or health team first.